Yesterday's Super Bowl was all about AI ads. OpenAI, Anthropic, AI.com, GenSpark, and more. All of them prominently featured during the Super Bowl. But while OpenAI put out an ad about Codex, a pretty tame ad, there was an apparent leak of an ad that they didn't put out. And that ad promoting a future hardware device rumored to be the one that Jony Ive has been creating for them. Let me just play the ad for you. All right, so a very short ad. Let's watch it together now, and I'm gonna break it down. All right, so in the very first frame, we have a few things going on. One, this is Alex Skarsgård, a very famous actor, very well-known actor. And we have this metallic, almost alien, stone-like device sitting in front of him. He has two metallic earbud-looking things in his ear, so you can see them right there, and they almost wrap around the back of his ear. And this is why a lot of people thought that this might be a leak of the OpenAI device. This is at least what I imagine an AI device looking like. I have been saying this for a while. I do not believe in the glasses form factor for AI. I truly believe earbuds is the way, but it's not just enough to have earbuds because the AI has to be able to read the world around you. And that means vision and audio and maybe other sensors. And so you need this external device from just the earbuds. And imagine something beautiful like this, a little stone-like device that you could just put in your pocket. And so that's what we have here. So we have Alex Skarsgård looking at this device. And so it's zooming out. He's looking at this device. A lot of interest, a lot of excitement, a little bit of fear, unknown. He's maybe even a little bit afraid to touch the device, but he starts to warm up to it. Then he picks it up. He starts to get used to it. He stands up, and then it finishes with seeing his reflection in the mirror, and he makes this almost angry, wincing face, which I don't understand. And it finalizes with dime, almost time. This is the first time we've ever heard the dime name. But again, OpenAI has already debunked this as fake. Now, who knows if that's true or not? And again, the question is, if this isn't an OpenAI ad, what is it? Probably the only people who know are the ones who created it and Alex Skarsgård. And right here, Lindsay McCollum-Remy, who is on the comms team at OpenAI, says this is totally fake. So here was the Reddit post that leaked it all. And of course, look at it, big red writing. It is fake, but let's look at it. There has been a lot of talk about the Anthropic ads this week and the OpenAI marketing team's response, the worst week of my personal career at OpenAI. So some thoughts from your old friend. If you were watching the Super Bowl, you just saw the spot that we ran. And so he goes on to talk about how good the marketing team is, but because they were getting attacked by Anthropic the week before by their Super Bowl ads, and I'll explain that in a minute, they decided to take a much more defensive posture on their ad approach. And at the very last minute, they decided to pull this ad and instead run the Codex ad. But that doesn't really make a lot of sense. They just happen to create two completely separate ads, one of which is promoting something that isn't going to come out for another 9 months or so, maybe. And so we have Anthropic making ads, going after OpenAI, putting ads in ChatGPT. And those ads, I think, did really well during the Super Bowl. And so this fake leaker said, okay, because the handlers at our company wanted to take a more defensive posture, they decided to scrap this more futuristic ad and instead put out the Codex ad. And so let's talk about the actual device now. Let's talk about what's going on. This would be the perfect form factor for artificial intelligence with one major flaw. Basically, you have a device in your pocket at all times right now. It is the phone. It is the original OP form factor for basically any computing on the go. One big screen, something you can touch, something you can interact with. It has cameras, it has mics, everything you would need. But the problem is it already exists, and Apple and Android own the entire ecosystem. You either have one or the other. And so if you're OpenAI and you're Jony Ive and you're trying to think about, okay, what device are we going to sell? How do we replace the phone? That is a massive undertaking. And so they need something. And earbuds is really the perfect form factor that I've been talking about for a while. Apple, I still believe, is incredibly well positioned to win artificial intelligence simply because they have this incredible computing device in your pocket with the iPhone. And then they have the most personal AI interface ever with AirPods. You speak to your AI, you can hear your AI, and the only thing that it's missing is to be able to actually see the real world. But the post was eventually deleted by the author on X. Greg Brockman, CTO of OpenAI, said fake news. So again, more or less debunked, unless there's this coordinated effort by OpenAI to debunk it, even though it's true. But it would be really weird for them to have just scrapped that ad completely. So what do we actually think that ad is for? That's a real actor that is not AI. It doesn't look like AI at all. I see none of the artifacts of AI, none of the signals that video is AI generated. So it's a real ad for something. And what made that fake leak so convincing is that it really looks like something that Jony Ive would have made. And so over the last few months, we've had multiple reports about the new AI device from OpenAI being AirPod-like. Here's from Hypebeast. OpenAI and Jony Ive's I/O hardware team are reportedly turning their physical AI vision into Sweet Pea, that's the code name, an ambitious ChatGPT-powered ear-worn device positioned as a direct AirPods challenger. It is a behind-the-ear system with pill-like modules, a metal egg-shaped main body, and a smartphone-class chip, plus custom silicon to trigger iPhone actions via Siri. It would be very interesting and also very platform risky for them to have such dependence on the iPhone, but we'll see. We also have leaks coming out of China that it is actually, in fact, going to be called Dime. Document confirms consumer name for Sweet Pea AirPod product will be Dime. So we have a bunch of different reasons to have believed that this was a real leak, even though they're saying it's not. And it does really seem like this could be the form factor of OpenAI's future hardware device. Would you buy it? If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.